Our next Guys Read book is called Misfit Mansion. And while we're not supposed to judge the books by their covers, this is a fun, colorful one. You can see right from the beginning all these kind of monstrous creatures. And it'll probably hook them in from the beginning, which is good because it's a good story. All right, from the back we read, despite her monstrous appearance, Iris has never felt like she belongs in a mansion filled with kelpies and gorgons and unicorns. She longs to find herself a family. Unfortunately, she and her housemates are trapped in a foster home for horrors run by a former paranormal investigator, Mr. Holloway. So when a human boy named Matthias breaks the house's sealing spell, Iris and her companions are set free upon the town of Dead End Springs. Finally, a chance to find a family and a real home. So there's this foster home for monsters, or horrors as they're called, and we see right from the beginning all the different type of creatures and just how chaotic it is. And then we learn about Iris, poor Iris, who just never has felt at home there. And no one else really sees it. We see it as the reader, but she claims that Mr. Holloway just treats her differently, that always acts scared of her or repulsed by her, and she doesn't understand why. And that leads to that feeling of being out of place. Another feeling of uncomfort that she deals with is her dreams, where she gets visited by this dark figure. Don't have a name for it. But he claims that he's being held captive and he needs Iris to free him. Doesn't really give a lot of explanation, but she's constantly kind of plagued with these dark dreams. And as it mentioned on the back, the front door, which has a sealing spell so that nobody can get in or out, happens to get broken by this young boy from the town. So we see them shocked and surprised, stepping out on the porch, looking at the fields across from their house, and they're free to explore the world. And obviously they know they're not supposed to. Iris has that desire to, but there's also another horror who had escaped through the night. And so Iris says, well, we got to go find her. But, that's their excuse to justify it. So they go out into this town called Dead End Springs. There's a fall festival going on, so it makes for kind of an exciting scene for the monsters. And as you would imagine, not just a couple of them go. They come back and they go, oh, everyone loves it. It's great. They actually like scary things. The stories we've been told are not true. So all of the other monsters come out and they join in this fall festival. And the townspeople are just eating them up. They realize that the human world and humans themselves, they aren't so bad. And a lot of people actually like the creepy things that these horrors have been told they have to keep away from the rest of the world for their own safety, for everyone's safety. So we also learn there's a lot of things that we don't know about Mr. Holloway himself. And Iris realizes that the figure in her dreams might actually exist. They learn more about Mr. Holloway's past, and there's a story from his past that seems really familiar with the dreams that she's been having. And it turns out, yes, that creature does exist. And she kind of regrets helping it escape, not really knowing the full story of what's going on. That's a pretty good image, right, on a projector for our kids during our reading sessions. And this monster terrorizes the town. Huge end scenery of climbing buildings and having people in his grasp. But as you'd hope, I'm not going to show it to you, but there's positive outcome, and you'll just have to read it. There's a lot of fun stuff in the back as well, some just concept art, and I talked about how the cover was kind of nice. There's some other alternative covers that were explored, so it's a fun book, kind of an original all-in-one story, not part of a series or anything, but that is Misfit Mansion.